Well, ladies, good to have you all back again on our Nourish, Ditch the Diet, Face the Feelings. Last formal one of the year. We may do them on the 25th and on the 1st, but they will be inside the Nourish group, just for members only. So today we're talking about New Year's resolutions, all the things we're not going to do. Or is it all the things we're not going to do?
Something like that.
So who wants to kick this off? How do we start with New Year's resolutions that might actually work?
We'll create a series of them rather than one giant New Year's resolution. Like, I'm going to lose 100 pounds.
By the end of January.
Yeah, let's try and get something that's a little bit more reasonable. When we take New Year's resolutions, even larger ones that we want that seem overpowering, and break them down into smaller pieces, it's a lot easier to manage.
Yeah. And one of the things that I've learned is that we don't do all the resolutions for January. Like, that my year's resolutions are spread out across the entire year, not all packed into, let's start them all on January 1st. And by the 15th, I'm completely burnt out and given up on myself because I just can't do this. Of course, I can't do this. I can't do 12 resolutions or 15 resolutions all at once.
Most people can't even do one for more than 3 weeks. I mean, it's really the dumbest concept ever. Like, I've got between now and the end of the year to do what? To blow off my life because I don't have to actually start it until January 1st. Like, it's just a silly concept.
Yeah.
Well, instead of calling them resolutions, why don't we call them intentions?
Yeah.
And create them as an intention that this is what you are going to do. And like Sharon said, totally break it down into smaller goals. And don't beat yourself up when you don't meet that intention.
And an intention has more power behind it than just making a resolution, even though the word resolute should be more powerful, but it's really not. The intention has the power.
I read something fascinating today when I was writing about heart-led goals, that intentions is who I am going to be in the present moment. It is not about a goal in the future. So when I set an intention, I am not working towards a goal. I am working on who am I being right now. And I thought to myself, man, how many times have I messed that up? I think I'm setting an intention of by such and such a date, I'm going to get to, or I'm going to have, or I'm going to do. And no, setting an intention is I am going to be in the present moment this way, in such a way that I reach my goal. But my goal is not my intention. My way of being today is my intention. And when I read that, I was like, oh my God, penny drop,
Yeah. So would your intention be specific or broad?
Well, I would say that goes back to something like values, like I will be self-disciplined, or I will be determined. I will be, so I might have a goal of I'm going to lose 10 pounds, but how am I going to be today? Maybe I'm going to be I'm going to be controlled or disciplined, or maybe I'm going to be energetic and get out there and do exercise, or maybe I'm going to be motivated.
This makes so much sense, because when you say, yes, here's my goal, and you say, that's great. How do you intend to get there? What are your intentions to achieve your goal? Did you see the light bulb? Holy cow.
No. I had one of those this afternoon as I read it. I'm like, how did I not get this? why am I 46 years old and oh now I get it. It's like, how did I do this?
Well, it's really cool because there's a lot like values. You can break intentions down into two categories. You can break them down into the category. Hold on, it just left my mind because apparently I didn't have enough walnuts before. Oh no, towards and away from. So we have intentions where we're trying to get away from something, and we have intentions that's trying to move us towards something. And then within those two categories, you have the ends intentions and the means intentions. So for instance, me intending to be giving to other people is the means to the end intention of I want to be loving. So there are so many ways that you can look at, and I love intention work. I do it every day. I teach it in every workshop that I do because it's how we focus the energy of the mind into reality to manifest in a way that actually works for us instead of it just being in the background, just spinning on its own, doing whatever it wants. It actually takes that energy and directs it.
Yeah, totally. The other thing is when you're looking at it, at the intentions as far as weight loss goes from a eating psychology perspective, we're really looking at it as taking it into a really small goal. And your goal could be, I really want to detox from sugar. Therefore, make an intention that I'm not going to be eating the sugar, but I'm also going to be reading, and I'm really well aware of what is in those products that I'm picking up.
Yeah.
Moving away from sugar and toward your goal.
Yeah.
Toward personal responsibility, because
Mm-hmm.
that reading the labels is about personal responsibility. It's about us deciding that my health and the intention and the New Year's resolutions that I have, I'm going to take responsibility for them and not dump that off onto a food company, our government nutrition guidelines, any of that. I choose to be responsible for that, and that's where our power is.
Well, and it's also the power in, calculating that it says that 30 calories per serving, and there's 60 servings in the box. So if I eat the whole box, how many calories is it?
No, it's just a story problem.
Just the calories that's on the box. That's it.
That's all it is.
And none on Sundays.
Oh, yeah. On Sundays, no. Okay.
It's the Lord's Day, Dan.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you have done the 4-hour body, one of Tim Ferriss's stuff, but he does this, 6 days a week, a diet, 1 day, a free for all, whatever you want to eat that day. Yeah. And I did that for about a year and a half. And I loved it. It was always about on day 7, I can have whatever I want with no guilt at all. And if I want to do sugar rushes, I'll do sugar rushes. After about 3 weeks, you get over that. After about 3 weeks, you're like, actually, I'll just eat normal today.
Yep. That's why in my Foolproof Freedom workshop, I tell people at the beginning, in the very first, we're going to eat whatever we want. There's going to be zero guilt. You're not going to be thinking about it. You're not going to be going over it, because even though you're doing that to avoid eating those foods, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between I want that or I don't want that. It just knows that you're giving attention to it. You're giving energy to it. So it brings more of that into your life. When we stop focusing on I don't want, and start focusing on this is what I want, well, then we start getting more of that in our lives. And we've been taught that somehow we have the ability through thought. If we think about it enough, that's not the way it works. It just doesn't work that way. You can't think your way out of a problem at the same level of thinking that created the problem. It's impossible.
Yeah. And I mean, you've got the whole thing of, continuing to do the same thing you've always done, expecting a different result is just, insanity, And how many of us continue, I'm going to try a new diet, but it's really the same cycle. Yeah. Okay. It's the same cycle. I've been in this cycle and I've tried a new diet and I've done a new thing. And finally you say, enough. I'm going to change how I relate to food. And, Sharon, when you first said the problem's not the food, the problem's within me in Foolproof Freedom, I sat there going, no. Not that I didn't know that, but it was oh, seriously, now I have to deal with this.
Yeah, there's just no wiggle room for not taking responsibility for everything that goes into your body.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, and it was really funny because in energetics, I was saying to Wendy on Sunday, I haven't recorded my eating in a month. And she's like, well, what's going on? I was like, well, I've just got so much happening in my creativity that's coming out. I keep forgetting to eat. And she's like, well, not recording, forgetting to eat means that you're doing it right. You're not recording because you didn't eat. And I'm like, yeah, but where's my self-care? And she's like, well, we'll talk about that. But what's going on?
Oh, God, your self-care is that you're actually creating instead of stuffing food down your throat to address that you're not.
That's exactly what we got talking about was that, you know, I was like, I actually have enough energy. This is not about me running on empty. And she was like, and then we got to talking about, you know, when you're in that part of life where you are so passionate and so happy with what you're doing, that is the source of energy, not needing food to nourish. And, you know, there's almost a spiritual side to that. You see people who literally can go without food because they're nourished and they're getting their energy from elsewhere. And, you know, it's just that coming into, oh, that's where I am again. And I haven't been here for years. I haven't been in that place of being in the zone of being totally focused on, oh, this is what I want to create. So yeah, New Year's resolution for me, stay in the zone.
Is that your intention?
My intention for each day is stay in the zone. My intention, my resolution for the year, yeah. But my intention on a daily basis is what am I creating today? Just, you know,
Nice.
Yeah.
I have several intentions actually on a daily basis. I have that my heart chakra would be a floodlight of love that drenches the people around me and heals and restores them. It's my intention that I'll be locked, stable, and aware in my body all day, present and experiencing my life. I have the intention that I'll be plugged into universal will, universal understanding, universal love, and universal knowledge so that I don't have to do this off my own resources. I have a lot of intention work that I use every day just to get me to the point where, because this workload would kill me if I was trying to do this on my own. It would kill me.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not plugged in, you know, and I notice it when I change my focus from what I was creating to just turning back to doing administrative work. And I'm like, why do I feel drained? Well, I feel drained because I came out of the zone. But, you know, it's also that, okay, how am I going to change my way of thinking about the administrative work, my way of interacting with the administrative work so that it's not draining? So that I'm not thinking, oh, I don't like this. Oh, I really don't want to do this. And that's something I have to work on. You know, that's something that's inside of me of, okay, you need to work on this because it is an essential and integral part of what you need to do. You know, you can't just ignore that part of what you're doing. There's that part as well.
Yep.
So, Sarah, resolutions of what you're not going to do. No, sorry.
I'm not going to make any New Year's resolutions. Actually, a couple of years ago, I sort of moved away from making New Year's resolutions and worked on coming up with a New Year's theme.
Yeah.
And just kind of riffed off of Eat, Pray, Love. So I would come up with 3 different, you know, on mine like 2 years ago, I think it was Eat, Work, Play. And so I do that. I haven't come up with my 2019 trio yet. Let me ponder that a bit.
We expect that in written format before the end of the
before the end of this dialogue. Okay.
Sorry, Beth, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. I was just asking Sandra, what about her?
Oh, I have several intentions for this year. One is actually to show up every day on my social media, and more than once. To give every day everything that I possibly can from my heart, and to serve as many women as possible this year and help them get off of this crazy dieting cycle and really do that.
I like that.
And then burn the papers at the end of 2019.
All right, I just came up with mine.
Oh,
2019.
Have it.
It is give, grow, ground.
Oh,
Wow.
mic drop.
Yep.
Wow. Powerful. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm not finished. No, I'm not almost finished.
And this is how much work I put into it so far. But usually I'll sit and I'll take a piece of paper and I'll do little fun draw fonts and make it all colorful. And so I'll work on that.
Yeah. Well, mine was around my values of I will thrive in 2019 because I will remain aligned with being divine, connected, courageous, and creative.
Beautiful.
That's very good.
So that was me of, okay, that's my intention for next year.
Love it. So I have a theme rather than intentions.
Yeah. So how about you, Sharon? What's it looking like?
I have several intentions for this year. I want to reach 500,000 people in workshops and coaching sessions this year. To that end, Margaret, Karen, and I are creating a new platform dealing specifically with pain, since that's a universal issue, and it tends to be something that drives us towards the very issues that we're discussing now, the using food, sex, drugs, alcohol, gambling, whatever it is, to not address what's really going on inside of us. I'm beefing up the Phoenix Reboot page. I'm creating a Nourish paid group. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I just know that by the end of the year, I want there to be 500,000 people out there in cyberland whose lives I have changed just by breathing.
Yeah. Wow. And dreaming big.
Awesome.
Absolutely awesome. Yeah. And I can see you doing that. I absolutely see you doing that. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
I know for me, 2019 is about connecting with other people, making that impact of, getting real clarity on how I'm connecting, who I'm connecting with, what I'm doing, and this year was awesome in that I felt like this year I built a support network for myself that I didn't have, that then allows me to step out. Absolutely. And, you three ladies are just fabulous in having real people that you connect with on a regular basis that, share your values, that are pushing you to be more than you already are. And that was missing for me. That was totally missing, of having women that I could say, I'm struggling with this, and knowing that I could call any one of you at any moment and say, I need help. I've got a block here. I've got an obstacle here. I crashed, whatever, because we do. And so, 2018 was about building that support network for myself, so that in 2019, it's like, okay, now you took care of filled your cup. Now start filling other people's cups.
I did a triad on Monday night, last night, on values elicitation. And during the feedback session at the end of it, Justin Reesty said something that was so powerful. He said, if you take a sentence and put your top 3 values in the sentence and let that sentence be what describes you. You'd be amazed at the drive and the passion that you find from that. And, I listened to him and I was like, yeah, that's cute. So I got off the tread and I went in and I looked at my top 3 values, and he's right. Like connection, service, and community are my top 3 values. And I came up with the tagline, connecting to community through service. And damn, that's powerful to me.
I just got chills.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was somebody always comes along and says exactly what I need to hear at the right moment. I love the synchronicity of this universe.
It's fabulous.
And it does. It always comes through right when you need it. And you sit there and go, oh, that's it. Of course that was it. And it's so obvious. It's a bit like on Sunday when we were watching the movie In Nourish, mm-hmm. and it was the whole talk about the spirals, and I sat there going, well, that's my logo. And it was like, I mean, I've known what that logo means to me about new growth, about spiraling out and getting bigger. But at the same time, it's that. But at the same time, it's that whole thing of, building what I already know to be my values into every aspect of my life. I picked that logo back in 2004 with a whole lot of intention. And it's just constantly reconnecting with that of, it's the end of the fern frond, as it's being born. And one of the meanings is reaching for the light. So what am I doing? How am I growing and spreading? How am I giving shelter to others as a fern does? How am I bringing growth and beauty into the world? And it's all of that.
Esoteric symbolism is so powerful. God, it's powerful.
That it is.
The great thing, Beth, is that this is Kids and Family Week, so this is right in line with what's going on in Nourish right now. So way to go, buddy. Yeah.
Well, I felt really proud of myself today. She was like, I'm hungry. I was like, well, would you like carrot sticks, cucumber sticks, or tomato? And she was like, oh, I'd like tomato and cucumber. And I was like, how did I do that? How did I I didn't even offer cookies or crackers or cheese or anything. My brain went, how about some vegetables? And she was like, oh, yes. And later on, I was like, damn, how did I do that?
How did I pull that off?
Yeah. But her teacher always says to me when she gets the school lunches, she's like, I don't know how you do it. You send her with cucumber sticks, with black olives, with a boiled egg and a sandwich, and she doesn't trade it for cookies with anybody. And I was like, well, that's just, so it's just what there is. Yeah. What there is.
What's in the cupboard?
Yeah. Well, it's not that there's not cookies. If there's cookies some days, there's always cookies in our cupboard. There is always cookies. There's always candy in our house. The question is, how much are you allowed to have? And it's not allowed. It's simply out of sight, out of mind.
Which the grocery stores know.
That's right.
So yeah, New Year's resolutions. What else do we want to finish up with, ladies? How do we encourage others to really settle into their resolutions in a really healthy way, so they're not feeling defeated in the second week of January.
I think part of it just comes from knowing the kind of person you are. Like for me, resolutions don't work, but having a theme works. For other people, it's intentions. And for other people, maybe they are strong-willed and need resolutions and can stick to them. I don't know any of those people, but I hear they're out there.
Let's go find him and hurt him. Because that's not fair.
I think too that a lot of it is to really understand where you're at and what your intent is at the end. What's your real goal for the end? What do you really want to see? And then really work it backwards. Because if you just set that goal, that big goal, I'm going to whatever. If you can't work it backwards, it's not going to work because you're going to end up failing.
I know for me, one of the things that works for me is how do I want to feel about myself and this goal at the end of the year? You know, so I'm not going to set myself up for failure. I'm not going to set myself up to fall flat on my face because I want to feel good about it. And then, you know, sometimes that's, how do I want to feel about my body? Well, I actually want to feel energetic. So I want to feel fit enough to keep up with a 5-year-old and all the things she wants to do. So how do I keep myself in that space? It's not about, for me anymore, about size and weight. It's about energy levels. It's about keeping that energy high enough that I'm on track. And, you know, like we were joking around at the very beginning about, you know, eating brain food, but it is about eating brain food. It's about giving myself enough healthy nuts and that sort of stuff as snacks that my brain is just like, okay, what do you need?
Avocados are another really great source of fat for the brain too. Yeah. Really great source. I've been eating a raw avocado. Obviously raw because you really can't do much.
All right. Okay. Has anybody ever tried cooking one? Come on, give me one.
No, it'd be horrible. I've been eating an avocado and walnuts every morning along with my rolled oats. And man, my thinking is so much more precise.
Oh, okay. So whole avocado each morning or?
Yep. Whole avocado and a handful of walnuts.
Okay.
That's a lot of oil for fuel.
I take it and I get rid of the pit and then I just eat it right out of the skin with a spoon.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Love it.
Yeah. Because normally I do cashews and walnuts late in the afternoon when I'm starting to feel that drag after lunch about 3:00. You know, it's like, okay, time for some brain food.
Yep.
Yeah, I always toss walnuts in my oatmeal.
I've sprouted. I love my oatmeal. It's not oatmeal. It's rolled oats. So in the morning, it's organic rolled oats. And in it is coconut milk, coconut flakes, coconut oil, coconut palm sugar, sprouted walnuts, Vietnamese cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla. And it's such a superfood. I mean, it's so, after that, I don't feel hungry until midday and my mind is just racing and going. It makes my body feel so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there something special about Vietnamese cinnamon?
No, that's the cinnamon that she got me most recently.
Nice. Like, oh, I'll look into this.
No, I haven't tasted a difference, but don't tell her that because I told her it was so much better, and thank you for rescuing me from regular cinnamon. You know, to the last point, if you're setting up New Year's resolutions or New Year's intentions this year, the most important piece of advice that I can give you from my repertoire is your thoughts are not reality.
That's right.
So just because you hear a thought tell you that this is a stupid resolution, just because you hear a thought tell you that this will never happen, just because you hear a thought say whatever it is that it says, that's not reality. This organ right here has the same reliable function the same way your stomach does. The reliable function of your stomach is digestion, and gas is a side effect of that. It is in no way a divinatory tool. Gas isn't some message from God. It's a byproduct of that organ's function. And thoughts are a byproduct of the brain's function. The brain is constantly taking information in, and it spits back to you what you've put into it. So just because you hear a thought, that's not reality. That's just a barometer for you to understand the quality of the crap that you're putting in your head. So if you're getting horrible thoughts back about how you'll never do it, you'll never accomplish it, this resolution is stupid, turn off your TV, stop listening to the radio, get away from the junk food that you're feeding your mind, and you will find that taking care of your body is 1,000 times easier.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, just for sure.
Yes.
Sure. That's absolutely, yeah. All right. Final words of wisdom for 2018, ladies.
See you next year. Beat you to it. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
I think just remember to lean on your support group, find your tribe and lean on them and lift them up to whatever extent you're possible, because we're all going through stuff all the time.
Yeah. And
my advice would be, just be gentle with yourself. Give yourself a break. So you messed up one day. That's okay. It's okay.
You mess up on day one, you throw the other 364 out the window.
Yeah, exactly. You mess up one meal and then you just, that's it. I can't do this. Really, it's just one meal, and even if you messed up 14 days in a row, still 350 to go.
Yeah.
It's just like when you start putting it in perspective, just be gentle on yourself. Look at how many times you did do it as opposed to how many times you didn't do it. Mm-hmm. And diets never start on Mondays. They never start next month. They never start on the 1st of January. Diets start today, right now. It's if you're going to do it, be present. Set your intention for I am going to be this as of today.
What about you, Zandra?
Be kind to yourself. Be gentle. Be kind to everybody else around you.
Yeah, especially if you're in detox.
Yes.
I just want to just stay home at that point.
Yeah. Just do everybody a favor and not interact with other human beings.
Just lock yourself away for a couple months. Really, it's okay.
Yeah. No. But anyway, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. Been really fabulous to share with everybody. Thank you, Tony Lee, for coming in on with us. Thank you to Gloria Moreno. Thank you to Susan, to Neha, Sharon Greenlaw, who all joined us today. Been really fabulous.
Thank you, ladies.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Everybody.